She has an answer for everything. Even though the answers are bullshit, she still has them.
You tweeted Trump stole an election. You tweeted Brian Kemp stole an election. If denying election results is extreme now, why was
So
it
let's be really clear. That comparison that you made is just ridiculous. I have been. Well, you're asking me a question.
Yes.
Let me answer it.
And you said it was ridiculous.
I was talking specifically at that time of what was happening with voting rights and what was in danger of voting rights. That's what I was speaking to at the time. And here's the thing. I have said Governor Kemp won the election in Georgia. I've been clear about that. I have said President Trump won the election of 2016, and I've been clear about that.
And of course, that was Karine Jean-Pierre, Joe Biden's lying secretary. I'm sorry, the media secretary, press secretary, whoever the fuck she calls herself. Peter Doocy called her out on her tweet in 2016 that Trump lost the election or stole the election. Oh, no, Peter. That's not what I meant. No, I was talking about voting rights. Voting rights. So what she was saying was, anybody who voted for Trump was bullshit. It was fraud. Anybody who voted for Kemp, it was bullshit. It was fraud. But when Trump lost in 2020, and he cried voter fraud because we all know Biden didn't get 80 million votes, how could you dare say election results were wrong? How could you dare say it was fraud? It was extreme to say that when Trump said it, but when Karine Jean-Pierre said it in 2016, it was different. So now she's Biden's chief liar. So she's getting asked about it, and she's just coming up with some bullshit. This administration goes out of its way to lie. They have nothing to fall back on. They have zero accomplishments. All they have done is blast inflation, raise prices on everything, destroy the country at every step. We had 13 service members killed in Biden's failed withdrawal from Afghanistan. Our border is an absolute disaster. They're coming over by the thousands every single day, and they'll still look into the camera and tell you the border's secure, the border's closed. And they believe what they say. They believe what they say. But then she goes on to talk about the insurrection and what that was all about. So have a look at this.
What we are talking about right now is, let's not forget what happened on January 6th, 2021, when we saw an insurrection, a mob that was incited by the person who occupied this campus, this facility at that time. And it was an attack on our democracy. Let's not forget, people died that day. Law enforcement were attacked that day. That was the danger that we were seeing at the time. That's what the president has called out, and that's what he's going to continue to call out. So yes, when you have Maga Republicans, a extreme part of Republicans who just deny or do not want to really say what exactly happened on that day, or say it was a protest when it clearly was not a peaceful protest. That's not what we saw on that day. Yes, the president is going to call that out.
And again, the MAGA Republicans, the insurrection, people died, police were attacked. It was a threat on our democracy. And I said this before, that what happened on that day was disgusting. It was a disgrace. It should have never happened. But that was a core group of extreme individuals who, for some reason, thought they had to do that to protect Donald Trump. Well, I, for one, don't think Trump ensued that whole thing. Or maybe he did because you took what he said out of context. Because after all, everything he said, people went running crying because their ass was fucking bleeding because they didn't like what he said. That's why today we can't say this or that. We can't look at somebody the wrong way. We got to use pronouns. We got to do all that shit. Because everybody was so offended by what Trump had to say. Now we all have to bow down to the woke culture. But they never, ever mention the Democratic-led BLM riots from George Floyd for 2 years, the destruction, the attack on law enforcement, the burning of private property, the injuries sustained to law enforcement and innocent people. They never, ever mention that. And that was led by Democrats. Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Chuck Schumer. They were all involved in it because they needed to get their point across that Black Lives Matter and we need votes, so we're going to take care of you people. So let's go out in every state in the entire United States, let's go out and destroy the country. And that's what they did. But today, all they say, it's MAGA, 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 MAGA. What the fuck? What is wrong with Make America Great Again? Ronald Reagan actually used that phrase in his day, and that wasn't a problem. So when it was Trump's turn to run, he chose to use MAGA. Make America Great Again. We all saw the merch. It was everywhere. There were stores all over the country, people selling Trump merch, and it sold like hotcakes. But it's bad now because they're extremists. They're right-wing extremists who want to take away your rights because they want to rule the country with an iron fist. When in fact, we all know that's bullshit. That's the Democratic way. That's the failed Democratic policies of Joe Biden. They tried to take away our free speech with their disinformation board. That failed. They want to take away our guns. They want to take away your right to vote with an ID. They don't think you should use an ID to vote. You don't need it. Anybody. Oh, you live on 22 John Street? Okay, go ahead, go vote. That's how the Democrats win elections. But Jean-Pierre insists that it's right-wing extremist MAGA Republicans who chose to storm the Capitol on January 6th, and that alone is a threat to our democracy. Because Joe Biden's not a threat to our democracy. He's involved in one of the biggest scandals there's ever been in the White House with his kid. They know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. But he's weaponizing the FBI to go after Trump so they keep Hunter Biden quiet. We all know that Joey was involved in $1 million deals with shady Chinese companies. We all know it. We all know all these people went to meet him in the White House when he was vice president. He was the big guy. We all know it. The stuff has been proven as fact. They tried to run their Russian disinformation bullshit, but it's been proven it happened. And what's going on with it? Nothing. The American taxpayer is paying for a mansion in Malibu, California for that bust-out crackhead Hunter Biden so he can live his happy life while daddy ruins the country. But it's the MAGA Republicans who are at fault for everything. He went on national television in his Stalin-like speech with the red background and the Marines standing there and blamed everything that's going on today on every person in this country who votes against Democrats. Everything. He has failed for 40 plus years, and he's failed even more since he rose his right hand and became the president of the United States. And they will not admit to one thing they've done wrong. At every step of the way, it was Russia, it was China, it was Republicans, it was a lie, it was misinformation, it was bullshit, This is unbelievable. He's been on TV the last few days going to his town hall meetings where there's 20 or 30 people and blasting the Republican Party because the Democrats, again, have zero accomplishments since he's been president. He has nothing to fall back on. So his hope is He's going to blast the Republican Party so bad, and he's raising his fist, and he's trying not to spit. He's trying not to make his teeth fly out. He wants people to believe that half the country, if not more, are the reason that the country is in the bad shape it is today. It's not the Democrats. It's anybody who votes against a Democrat. Whether you're an independent or whether you're a Republican, the country's fucked up today because of us. Not because of Joe Biden and his failed policies from the minute he stepped in that White House until today. So we're going to continue to see this up until November. And I still believe that the Republicans are going to take the House. I believe that. I hope it happens because I want to see these assholes run, and I want to see them run scared. I want Hunter Biden brought to justice because his father is one of the biggest organized criminals in this country, and I'm not making it up. You know it. I know it. Look it up. He's been involved in shady shit his entire career, from lying about his education to saying he never used the N-word when he used it regularly on the Senate floor because we all know he's racist. He's sniffing kids. He's calling 9-year-olds baby. How old are you, baby? Oh, I thought you were double digits. Why, Joey? That's what you like, double-digit kids? This guy is a danger to the American way of life. His son is a danger for national security because who knows who he's dealt with in China, in Russia, in Ukraine, or God knows what other country to give away the United States secrets to make millions of dollars for Joe Biden's crime family. That's what this is about. And they're going to continue to blame Republicans. Karine Jean-Pierre is going to continue to go on. And every time Ducey asks her a question, she's going to have a bullshit answer. Because they have nothing else. Fox News, like them or not, are the only ones that have the balls to ask the real questions. And they never get a real answer. And they never will. Because Biden has them all under control. The DOJ, the FBI, and every other government agency. He's telling them what to do and what not to do. And what he wants them to do is make sure Donald Trump stays quiet and goes down, and make sure crackhead Hunter doesn't go down. Because, again, I've said this so many times, the whole group of them belong in prison. From Joe, his brother, his sister, his daughter, his son, they all belong in prison. And I put out a YouTube short a few days ago, or maybe a little longer, with excerpts from Ashley's diary that was stolen and then recovered, where she questions her hypersexuality, taking baths with her dad. Was I wrong? Was I molested, she asks. Gee, you tell me. This guy is a danger to everyone who comes in contact with him. And one of his biggest protectors is Dr. Jill. Dr. Jill wanted to be First Lady so bad she probably would have killed for it. She's another waste of time, another waste of space. But don't tell Whoopi Goldberg that, because according to her, Dr. Jill, the English professor, would be a great Surgeon General. Pay attention. These people are dangerous, and they're going to be blasting the Republican Party up until November. And I don't care if you're a Republican, I don't care if you're an independent, but if you're a Democrat and you believe that this guy and all his people are doing the right thing, you need to do some soul searching, because we're in trouble. They have nothing. They failed at everything. They have zero accomplishments. So they're going to blame and blame and blame in the hopes that they will not lose the Congress in November. I again think they will, and I hope they do, because they deserve everything that's coming to them once the House changes hands. And that's it. If you haven't already liked this video, please consider hitting the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell, and you'll never miss an episode. I hope everybody's healthy and safe. Share my videos with anybody and everybody. I'd really appreciate that. I'll see you again soon with something else. It's just getting better and better. It's leading up to November. I'd say the wheels in Biden's head are turning, but they're really not. They might be moving at a snail's pace. But everybody else, whoever's putting that bullshit into his teleprompter and he's spewing it, that's all they got. All they can do is bash people. They got no accomplishments to sit back on to show the American people that they're doing the right thing. Have a great night, and I'll see you real soon.